Welcome back, mathletes near and far. I am here with my now good friend Surfer Dave. How you doing, Surfer Dave? Bruh. I'm like righteous dude. I'm working on my 5th coat of surfing board wax and having a great time. All right, I'm glad. Did you learn much from that video we made together? Totally, bro. I learned that I need a better conditioner so my hair has more volume. That's what you learned from my math video? Well, I was thinking about it while you were talking about math, so I'm pretty sure it was you, brah. Okay, well then, you're welcome for that. Well, have a seat there while you finish your high C, and let's get started. I know I say this every video, but hopefully I mean it this time. I'm going to try to not explain all the steps to the work for you. That last lesson's about doing the steps. This lesson, it's more about how to set up the problems. So I'm going to set them up, and hopefully I'm going to try to get through them quickly. I know I say that, and then my teacher brain kicks in, and I still explain every detail, but we'll go for it. I'm going to try and explain the setup and rush through the calculations and hope for the best. Okay? So this one says, a music club has 15 members. Each member pays monthly dues of $14.60. On the first day of the month, 18 members paid their dues. The remaining members paid their dues on the second day of the month. How much money was collected in dues on the second day of the month? So there's two different ways you could do this. There's the right way, and then the... Seriously, Surfer Dave? Bruh, is there a problem or something? Well, yeah, you're drinking high C in the middle of my lesson. That doesn't sound familiar. I think you might have me confused for someone else. Stop it! Ugh, Surfer Dave. We gotta focus here, okay? Okay. There's two different ways to do this problem. There's the right way and the wrong way. You can multiply all the people times all the money and then subtract the money from the people who had paid, but to get to the money amount, you'd have to multiply to get the money amount, and you're multiplying, subtracting. The better way is to subtract first. 15 people had to pay it, 8 already did. So just do that real quick, and you get there's 7 people who pay on the second day. And then we know that each one of those pays the same amount, and so we just got to multiply that out. If we can figure out the answer to this, then we don't have to multiply first and then multiply next and then subtract at the end. Subtract real quick while the numbers are easy to subtract, and then multiply once. So we're going to get something that looks like this. And that. Boom. This one should be 102.20. So this next problem, it's going to give us multi-steps again. This one says, Marcia gave the cashier $20 to pay for 3 pairs of socks. The cashier gave her $5.03 in change. Each pair... Bruh, what was that? That was me reading the math problem until like this last part, and then you interrupted me. No, bro, there was something else. A sound. Yes, when I read the problem out loud, it makes sound. No, something fishy is happening. Ocean joke, I get it. Okay, well, calm down. Work through the problem. It's not that fishy. Okay. The cashier gave her $5.03 in change. Each pair of socks cost the same amount. What is the cost in dollars and cents for each pair of socks? Okay. So the first thing we want to do is think, how much were all the pairs of socks? Because if we can get one price for the stack of 3 socks, then we just have to split that number into 3. And so we're going to use these other pieces of information to figure out how much she paid total. The amount she paid total gets split 3 ways. And that's the trick in this problem. Okay? So Sometimes drawing pictures helps. Sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it doesn't help enough, and you got to draw multiple pictures. Whatever you need to do to make yourself successful on these questions, go ahead and do it. It's your test, your score. Get in the habit of doing what you need to do. So when I do $20 minus 503, I'll show you a quick shortcut here. Instead of trying to borrow one place at a time, I see the 2 zeros. I know I'm going to have to borrow a bunch, so I make the 20 a 19. And then I still have to put the 10 here, make that a 9 and this a 10. But that saves me the time of borrowing from a 0 and also a 2. I just treat the 2 and the 0 as one number. Okay, that's enough explanation. Go through here, and I've got that much that I paid. So I can take that, I split it up between my 3 socks, and I'm going to get $4.99. So again, the calculations, going through them quick, but if you have trouble setting up problems like that, you can shoot me a message in the comments below or search for this type of problem and get some practice. All right, the next one says that Rebecca needs 10.5 yards of fabric. Oh wait, is that the sound you were talking about, Surfer Dave? Bro, that's it. Okay, well that's just some music. That should be okay, right? Oh, let me tell you, bro, that music, it's making my inside shake more than the San Andreas fault. Yeah, well, it's scary music, but it's just music. No, bro, if I hear that again, I'm out of here. Okay, well, we'll hope that there's no more scary music for you. Anyway, Rebecca, Becky from SoCal. I don't know. It says it doesn't matter. Yes, her. She needs 10.5 yards of fabric to make a quilt. A quilt in SoCal. That's hilarious. Yeah. She has one piece of fabric that is 2.5 yards and another piece of fabric that is 4.5 yards. How many more yards of fabric does Rebecca need to make the quilt? So this problem, there's a right way to do it and a right way if you like subtracting more than adding. You've got all this amount that she needs. And then she's got a piece that's a certain amount and another piece that's a certain amount. And we're trying to figure out what amount is left. So if you want to take the whole number, and I don't mean whole like an even integer number, I mean like the entire quantity, and subtract the first bit she has and then subtract the second bit she has, you're welcome to. Most people are more comfortable with adding than subtracting, so it'd be better to add all this up and say, okay, how much does she already have total? And then just subtract once. That's what we're going to do here. Excuse me, Surfer Dave. No problem, dude. And I'm going to say 2.5 plus 4.25. So I'm rushing through these calculations. If you don't know how to add a 1/2 and 1/4, you got to work on your equivalent fractions, because that should be pretty easy with enough practice. That's just going to be 3/4. And 2 plus 4 is 6. So I got 6 3/4 that she's got already, and I'm just subtracting that from 10.5. I'm hoping that most of you have seen the borrowing trick for fractions, and I'm going to show you something that's a little bit different and sometimes better, not always. I've got 10 minus 6, which looks good, but for a number like 43 minus 29, I would never start by subtracting the 4 minus the 2. I always work my way from right to left. I work backwards through it, and the same thing has to happen here. I got to subtract my fractions first, which is a problem because a 1/2 is smaller than 3/4. So it's not a huge problem because I have to borrow, but borrowing is a lot different with fractions. So make sure you're aware of that. And when I borrow 1 whole and make that a 9, I'm borrowing 1 whole. I've still got the 1/2 there. That didn't magically disappear. 10.5 is the same as 9 and 1.5. And I'm subtracting 3/4. And I'm going to put it under the 1, because 1 is an amazingly easy number to turn into any fraction. I just make the top and bottom the same. So here I have my whole minus my 3/4, but it looks like 4/4, which is a whole, minus 3/4. And so that's going to give me 1/4. The 1/2 that was floating there is still floating there hanging out, and we're going to add those back together. That reminds me of a time when I was hanging out. Surfer Dave, is this a math question? Well, like, it was during the calendar year, so that's like numbers, you know? But why don't we save that for later, huh? No problem. I could start my 7th coat of wax. You do that, Surfer Dave. I might need to get you another high C to keep you out of my hair. Anyway, 9 minus 6, that's 3. And then here, I've got those two things together. Again, adding fractions like that are common is easy. And if it's not easy for you, you just haven't had enough practice. Make sure you get enough practice converting and adding fractions with unlike denominators. So this one is definitely H. Down here, 37. This is another one where we've got a bunch of different ways we could do it. So I'm going to try to show you the best way, but I can't promise it's the best way for you. If you look at the second way I do it and you like that way better, then do it the second way. For me, I know there's 40 houses, and as soon as I hear company X provides electricity to 1/8 of the houses, I think, okay, how many actual houses is that? This tells me what fraction of the houses, but not the actual number. I want the actual number. What is 1/8 of 40? Easy numbers to work with. 40 divided by 8 is 5. Same thing here. When they tell me company Y provides electricity to 2/5 of the houses, I want to know how many individual houses that is. Now, the math's not quite as easy, but of always means times. So 2/5 of the houses means 2/5 times the number of houses. And because I start with a fraction, I'm also going to keep my 40 as a fraction. I'm going to do a trick called cross-canceling, because I know 5 and 40 can both be divided by 5. Top times top is 16. Bottom times bottom is 1. 16 over 1 is just 16. So between company X and Y, I've got electricity going to 21 of those houses. Company Z provides electricity to the remaining houses, which means how much is left to get back to 40? Well, 40 minus 21 is going to be 19 houses. Okay? So then the other way that you could do this, that's it, I'm getting out of here, man. Cowabunga! All right, that music is pretty terrifying. Oh no, that music's even worse. Hey, it's me, Batman. I should have known. Ominous music could only mean ominous circumstances. Did you just ride a shark into my math video? Sure did. You know why? Because you're trying to ruin my life? Because I'm Batman. Hey, you remember when you cut off my phone and you thought that I was done bugging you? Yeah, I was kind of hoping you were done bugging me. I'm not. I found you, and I chased away your Surfer Dave pal. Well, would you like to help me finish this problem then, Batman? It looks finished to me. You already answered it. Well, I was going to show him another way to do it. No problem. The other way to do it, kids, is to be awesome. All right. We're just going to go ahead and stop this video. Are you wearing a swimsuit? No, it's not a swimsuit. It's a bat-themed suit. You get it, kids? It's a bat pun. No, it's just real bad pronunciation. Hey, I don't need any lip from you. In fact, I don't need anything from you except more math and more awesome. Because it's not awesome enough. All right. Well, I'm gonna just try to avoid this by turning off the video. No, you can't do that.